1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay!
Days after the Eaton fire devastated entire neighborhoods in Pasadena and Altadena, Black Freedom Fund, an organization that invests in leaders and organizations transforming black communities, established the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. The Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund is supporting local organizations, providing direct resources to families, and making sure that recovery reflects the needs and voices of the people who live there. For many, the journey to rebuild is just beginning, and the Black Freedom Fund is committed to being with them every step of the way. Stand with Dina. Donate by texting Black LA to the number 707070. That's Black LA to 707070. Together, we can help our neighbors rebuild their homes, lives, and hope. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. National news of consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
And, that's when I started putting really good products in my body. And then I purchased Bare Organics. We have Bare Organics, Super Organics. Now we're about to launch probiotics into Walmart as well. We are in Walmart, Sprouts, H-E-B. You can buy it on Bare Organics and all of, Super Organics. And our probiotics, I'm pitching a little bit here, but they're good for you, are Probiogen. So we are, that Probiogen, our newest, has the 100 billion meals logo on the box. I'm so proud of that. So we are launching, and every single box, anything that's sold a meal will be donated to 100 billion meals to somebody who's hungry. I'm so proud of that.
I'm so proud to hear that. That this is really incredible. Angie, throughout your career, it feels like you've lived so many different lives. For our leaders, learners, and listeners that are tapped in right now, they remember you as a supermodel. They remember you as an actress. They remember you on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and Playboy, right? And now here you are, as the founder of Bare Organics. What's your message to some of the entrepreneurs out there, particularly folks who, have, been talent, for example? What's your message to them in terms of embracing entrepreneurship? Because it seems to me, with all these headlines swirling around, the latest layoffs, it seems to me that the opportunity in this moment lies in folks leaning into entrepreneurship in some way, shape, or form. It seems to have worked for you.
I believe that people need to find what they love, what they're connected to, where they're the most passionate in life. If you're not super passionate about it, it probably won't work. So you have to love what you do. And, I loved being a model. I loved being an actress. I should say I liked being an actress. I loved being a model. I love being a mom. And I love this new part of my life where I'm a CEO of a company of people that I love working with. I've got 2 great women sitting in my room right now that got up at 4:00 this morning to be here with me. I'm so grateful to have great people in my life. And I have, I really have good opportunities, and we have forged these opportunities to give back. So giving back is a big deal. You want to feel fulfilled, give back. You want to feel good about yourself, go donate your time somewhere. And I guarantee you'll feel better. You'll feel good.
I'm with you 1,000%. I think there is so much power, particularly healing power in service. Yes. Just last night, I was at a charity event for the survivors of the Altadena and Pasadena Eaton fires. And it was a holiday celebration, and it was a packed house.
Where was that?
It was at the Wallace in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And it was incredible. And, the way folks sort of filed in there, right? It was beautiful to see how people filed out of there after the concert. You could tell that the artistry on the stage really, really moved them. I've got to ask you, as we close the chapter on 2025 and look towards 2026, are there, what are you most looking forward to in the new year?
So I'll answer that question in a second, because as I was coming home from Palm Beach, I was sitting next to a guy who, his family, his wife and a couple of kids had lost their homes in the Palisades fires. And I know a lot of people are talking about the Altadena fires, which are, just as bad, but nobody's really talking about the Palisades fires. And my son lost his school. All of the friends are gone. The whole community has vanished. Both communities lost at the same time. And both communities, it wasn't just rich people in the Palisades. There was a lot of poor people there too. A lot of people who needed, my girlfriend had a house and she didn't have insurance. So for me, 2025, it was a difficult year, a very difficult year. It came in with the fires and a lot of loss. And, you got to try to look at a good situation out of every, there's always a good, something good out of a bad situation. Right. And gosh, I've been to a bunch of charity events for these people, and I feel for every one of those, of the victims of the fires going in. So your question about going into next year, oh my gosh, maybe everybody be safe and healthy and happy. Set your goals. Set a goal. Set some goals. Make them big. Come on, people. Make them big. If you don't set big goals, you got little goals. Sure, every day you could set a little goal. Those are achievable. Set a big goal this year and make that happen. That's what I challenge you.
Well,
www.100billionmeals.org.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, baby.
Accepted. Angie, I'm going to be 42 years old next year.
Oh, and you look great.
Thank you. And, one of my goals for 2026, I want to be in the best shape ever.
I have that goal too. I just lost 30 pounds, if you can believe it.
What?
My thyroid medicine was changed, and I blew up. It was god awful. I was fat Angie. And I joked about it, but I was. And I was like, I had my first Tony Robbins event, and I was like, I am not going to a Tony Robbins event. It's fat Angie. So I can't take the GLP-1 drugs because you cannot take them if you're a thyroid, if you had thyroid cancer.
That's right.
So that's a hard no. So I had to get in the gym, start running. So as a woman in my, menopausal, no thyroid state, it was super easy. So I worked out and ate right. And so I'm halfway there, but I'm with you. And you know what? I'll do that challenge. I'll come back with you, see how you are in a couple months. Let's see how you are in your good shape, and I'll show you my good shape.
Okay, deal.
Yep. Okay.
Our thanks to Angie Everhart. We want to encourage folks, if you want to learn more about the partnership or to join the movement, please visit the official website of the 100 Billion Meals Challenge. Go to 100billionmeals.org. And also Bare Organic Superfood. If you're rushing to the grocery store like I am, yes. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Sprouts. And so many other stores. Just go to bareorganics.com and you can find out where you can get it. Remember, your support can help make a tangible difference in the lives of millions of people around the world. Thank you, Angie Everhart.
All right, I'll see you when you're all ripped up.
I'll see you too. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
In a city as big as LA, healthcare shouldn't feel far away. That's why Cedars-Sinai is breaking down barriers and bringing resources like free screenings, vaccinations, and wellness programs into local communities. From Leimert Park to Lincoln Heights and everywhere in between, Cedars-Sinai is showing up, partnering with over 200 local organizations to improve access to healthcare resources. Because care doesn't just happen inside a hospital. It happens in neighborhoods and places around the city where we live, work, and grow. Cedars-Sinai, here for LA.
When you turn to the Employment Development Department, we'll help you get there. Whether it's support for you and your family while you find a new job, or the resources to focus on your recovery after illness or injury, we can help you move forward. From support while you bond with your newborn, to helping serve your family while your partner serves our country. Your EDD. We'll help you get there. For more information, visit edd.ca.gov.
The laws have not changed in California. All workers must be paid properly and protected from retaliation. Retaliating against a worker or not paying them because of their immigration status is illegal. Don't believe the lies. California laws protect all workers, regardless of immigration status. Document retaliation and wage theft. Report it to the Labor Commissioner's office. Learn about your labor rights. Visit wagetheftisacrime.com.
Hello?
Hi, this is Regional Power and Utility calling to inform you of an outstanding balance.
I thought I paid that.
You're scheduled for immediate shutoff unless it's resolved today. I can help you make your payment right now.
Learn to pause, reflect, and protect yourself from scams with the help of the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Nice try. Visit aarp.org/fraudwatch network to recognize fraud sooner.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and you, working to build a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. And before we get to the quiet part out loud, a little bit of breaking news since we've been on air. The New York Times and other outlets are reporting that an MIT professor has been fatally shot in his home. The authorities said that they had opened a homicide investigation after a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology was fatally shot at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. The professor, Nuno F.G. Loureiro, 47 years old, was a member of the departments of Nuclear Science and Engineering and Physics, as well as the director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office said that the police responded on Monday night after receiving a report of a man shot at his home. The office said that Dr. Loureiro was brought to a hospital with gunshot wounds and that he was pronounced dead this morning. It's an active and ongoing homicide investigation. That's what the District Attorney's Office said in a statement. An office spokesman said that there's not been any arrest in this case, and MIT said it was encouraging members of the campus community who may be affected by Dr. Loureiro's death to reach out for support. MIT named Dr. Loureiro director of the Plasma Science and Fusion Center back in May 2024, putting him in charge of one of the school's largest labs where more than 250 researchers, staff members, and students work in 7 buildings with 250,000 square feet of lab space. In January, it's also worth noting that President Biden announced that Dr. Loureiro was one of nearly 400 scientists who'd been awarded the Presidential Early Career Award for Scientists and Engineers. The administration called it the highest honor bestowed by the U.S. government on outstanding scientists and engineers at the starts of their career. No doubt, very bright, very talented scholar, working to advance some pretty important issues to the nation and the world. It's unclear if there's a suspect and who we should be on the lookout for. This comes as a shock to a lot of folks inside and outside of higher education. It comes as a shock because we're still reeling from the campus shooting at Brown University. Not a long train ride away from MIT. And we've covered so many headlines over the past several months about just sort of the climate on college campuses. Remember that Charlie Kirk was shot on a campus. And so, it feels as if things are not trending in the right direction. I feel like things are trending in the wrong direction when it comes to gun violence in our communities, including but not limited to our college campuses and off campus. The fact that an MIT professor was fatally shot in their own home. I'm sure for a number of other professors out there, it doesn't give a lot of comfort knowing that In his case, in Professor Lorario's case, he was not safe in his own home. And so we're going to continue to keep our eye on this story as it develops. But speaking of folks who weren't safe in their own home, it's hard to not think about Breonna Taylor. And that's why the Congressional Black Caucus is not just still thinking about justice for Breonna Taylor, but they are acting and, in fact, urging their colleagues to pass the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act. Our friend Jaron Keith Gaynor, the White House correspondent for the GRIO, recently published a story about how the Congressional Black Caucus is urging colleagues to pass the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act, which was reintroduced in Congress last week. It's worth noting that the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act, again, was first introduced in 2024 and would ban no-knock warrants. It would ban those no-knock warrants. It would also not just ban the no-knock warrants, but the bill is co-sponsored by Representative Morgan McGarvey and Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, as well as Senators Cory Booker and Representatives Clark and Jasmine Crockett. You might remember that Breonna Taylor was a 26-year-old EMT worker who was shot and killed in her home in Louisville, Kentucky, right after police executed a no-knock warrant that turned out to be wrongfully obtained and included false and misleading statements. Taylor's death helped spark, of course, the global Black Lives Matter uprising of 2020. Congressman McGarvey, who represents the district where Taylor lives, said in the statement, quotes, "No law can right that wrong, but we can honor her memory by fighting for justice, the justice that she was never given. An homage to the heroic life Breonna Taylor lived as an EMT, this bill will save countless lives by banning the dangerous and deadly use of no-knock warrants nationwide." Now, it's worth noting that no-knock warrants are already restricted in Kentucky, where Governor Andy Beshear, he signed a bipartisan bill back in 2021. However, the push to do so on the federal level from coast to coast has remained out of reach in a Congress where most Republicans lack a legislative appetite for any sort of police reform. It's worth noting that previous attempts to ban no-knock warrants on Capitol Hill, they have failed. And the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which would restrict such warrants, that also stalled in Congress. And as a result, then President Joe Biden, remember, he issued an executive order with a limited scope targeting only federal officers. And so the Congressional Black Caucus, they're calling on their colleagues to join the coalition and pass the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act to prohibit federal law enforcement, state and local police departments, to prohibit all of them from receiving federal funding from executing these dangerous no-knock warrants. And so, between Boston and Kentucky, two stories, many years apart, different set of circumstances, but the reality is you have two people, that were shot in their homes. And both stories underscore the troubling trends that we're seeing when it comes to gun violence in our communities. We can't escape it. You can't escape it on college campuses. You can't escape it even in your own home. It's pervasive, and it's not going to go away on its own. And it's important to note that there's no one fix for it. But there are a number of things that we can do that can reduce these occurrences of gun violence in our communities. You know, thoughts and prayers are not enough. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. And you've heard me share this on this show often, is that my maternal grandmother, Addie Mae Thomas, used to say, you got to pray with your hands and pray with your feet. And right now, thoughts and prayers are not enough, right? We need folks to take action. People who are in positions of power and influence and authority, we need them to take action. Part of that is legislative action. We need to change our laws, and make our laws more of a deterrent for this sort of behavior, right? But we also need to change the culture. We have to take a strong look at, who the perpetrators of this violence are, right? And what sort of violence interruption programs, what sort of violence interruption strategies we should be investing more in to try and save lives. Don't we want to be in the business of saving lives when it comes down to it? Is that too much to ask? That people in positions of power, influence, and authority actually use that power to save lives in every way they possibly can? Is that too much to ask? An EMT was not safe in her own home. That was Breonna Taylor. And Dr. Lorario, professor over at MIT, he wasn't safe in his own home either. We got to make their lives matter. Because soon, this violence may revisit itself on lives that matter even more to us. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We're going to have to leave it there. My thanks to the entire village. Helps us produce A More Perfect Union. Our executive producer, Tavis Smiley. Our sound engineer, Brother Andy. To our show producers, Art and Faraji and Journey. And, of course, to each and every one of you, all of our leaders, learners, and listeners. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Do what you can from where you are with what you have. See you tomorrow.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Activists in Florida are